unmute. Hey, everybody. Sorry, it took me a second to unmute. How is everybody? We're back for another Identico After Dark, and we have someone special today.
Hello.
Look who's back. It's Eve. And she's not even, she doesn't have any tamales to throw at me.
Not yet.
Not yet. Eventually, she will have tamales to throw at me. That's what's going to happen the next time I invite her to guest on the show. She's like, you know what, I'm bringing tamales.
I'll have to prepare. I'll have to let them stew a little bit in a bag, make sure it's on point and on par with what Eve would do.
Or a baseball bat with a teddy bear on it. That's the other thing I'm going to end up with.
Not that I have been thinking about getting just a Louisville Slugger for the car or anything.
But, for fun, and for those that used to watch Angel City Stories, Eve might be making her return.
In space.
Pretty soon. Pretty soon.
I'm very excited.
I think we're very close to casting this show, so now once we get through casting stuff, we are going to work on scheduling, which is going to be the next fun part. That's the other part that I really love doing, is scheduling these things. It's so much fun. We're in the GH studios today, so I don't know why we're kind of echoey. We shouldn't be, but I will check the levels really fast.
We do have two mics next to each other.
That is true. So, beep boop, beep boop. Anyway, so yes, expect that to come. We had a great episode of Chaos Inc. last night, and boy, did that one get a little shenanigans. And by a little shenanigans, I mean a lot of shenanigans.
Please enlighten us on these shenanigans.
Oh, we had a player character who got captured last night by one of Eve's great nemesises. It's going to happen. We're going to keep going. So we will be back with Chaos Inc. in a couple of weeks, and that's going to be fun. And Eve is already thinking of ways to burn down the world.
Always.
It's important. It's important for her to burn down the world.
I do choose to wake up with violence every day, so
pretty
it
much.
is. Poor Alex does have to live with that and exist with that at work.
It's
so
it's all the sass. We have all the sass. And come on, chat. You guys, I see some folks in there. Let's see what everybody's got to say tonight. We're going to talk about a bunch of different stuff tonight. We're going to talk about D23. We're going to talk about the new Disney Dreamlight game, which Taylor has been apparently mainlining like heroin.
Yes, I like it a lot. It's
Okay.
so good.
We're going to talk about some of the controversy around Ariel, because apparently that has to be a thing now. So there you go. That's what we're going to start with. So let's start with D23. 3 years ago, D23, which was the last big D23 they did,
Right.
it was freaking amazing. It was where they announced Obi-Wan and the return of Ewan McGregor. They announced so many things.
Didn't they announce Book of Boba Fett too?
They announced Book of Boba Fett. They announced a bunch of Marvel stuff. They did a bunch of stuff. This year, they announced nothing. Nothing. Nothing of any consequence.
I know you're kind of upset about this because you definitely love Disney, and I know that you very much look forward to these drops. What is going through your mind as a fan?
I think it's a missed opportunity. I mean, that's the biggest thing, is that they kind of teased everything out at San Diego Comic-Con a couple months ago, right? And we have some big gaps in Phase 6. We know Phase 6 starts with Fantastic Four. We know it ends with Avengers Secret Wars. We know it's going to come shortly after Avengers King Dynasty, but there's huge, huge gaps in there. Nobody knows what's there. Kevin Feige knows they know what they're producing. You know, there's no doubt in my mind they've got through Phase 6, if not Phase 7, planned already. So the fact that on the Marvel side, they basically said nothing. I did hear a good theory that I actually buy as to why the Fantastic Four roster wasn't announced. They did announce the director. Matt Shankman is directing the film.
Okay. That's a step in the right direction.
It's a step.
I would hope.
It's a step in the right direction. But here's the thing: this movie comes out in like early 2024. Like they don't have much time. Like they've got to get going on this. The best theory I heard is that they're not done with the contracts. Is that at least one of them, the contract's not completely signed. Like they've got it an agreement, but not fully done, and they don't want to risk it.
That's plausible. I was also thinking about it, and I'm wondering if they are remaining quiet on the movie front because they're also working on a new Marvel game as well.
But they've never tied the games to the movies, and I've always thought that was smart.
Yeah, because it gives you different universes to explore.
So, movie tie-in games are always hard because they're typically rushed, right? Because by the time the movie's done shooting or the scripts are ready to go or things like that, where they're starting to roll these things together, like...
That's true.
Like, I haven't seen a good Marvel or a good movie tie-in game in a long time.
Spider-Man was very good.
But that wasn't a movie tie-in. It wasn't tied to the movies. It's like multiversal Spider-Man.
It wasn't. However, it did definitely take a lot from the Tom Holland Spider-Man series and
Add to it. Yeah.
Especially because they had Miles Morales added as well.
Yep. So that's kind of the Marvel side of it. Star Wars, there's just nothing. We haven't had a movie since Rise of Skywalker.
Maybe they called it quits.
They announced movies at the last D23. They announced Rogue Squadron, which is on indefinite hiatus due to supposedly creative differences between Patty Jenkins and Kathleen Kennedy. And I wanted to see what Patty Jenkins was going to do.
I was so excited
with
for that,
Rogue
honestly.
Squadron. Nothing. You got nothing, Disney? Nothing. You have one of the biggest franchises in the history of the world, and you can't make a fucking movie?
Franchises and monopolies on a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps they're focusing in a different direction.
I don't know. I have no idea. All right. Applesauce is asking, who's our favorite Spider-Man? I'm going to let you go first.
Oh, man. So I actually very much like the Tom Holland Spider-Man, especially because of how it ties in with Tony Stark and the Marvel shenanigans. However, the original Spider-Man has a firm place in my heart as well. Just for nostalgia's sake, though, especially after that third one, that was a little rough. What about you, Alex?
So I'm gonna go with something weird.
Oh.
Okay. I love the Jake Johnson Spider-Man from Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh, yes.
Sweatpants and all. Okay. I love the world weary. I've had the snot kicked out of me. MJ left me. I'm sucked out of my universe while eating pizza in my sweatpants in my crappy New York apartment. And the way he portrayed that character in that movie was
fantastic.
So good, and how he goes from so jaded and just pissed,
right,
all the way to taking care of Miles in that line at the very near the end of the movie. He's like, "Do I want kids?" I love the Jake Johnson Spider-Man and Into the Spider-Verse. Into the Spider-Verse, in my opinion, is probably the most perfect comic book movie of all time.
Honestly, the animation and art in that alone was just absolutely mind-blowing, and I don't think that I had any complaints or even reticence about that movie in general. It was beautiful. I don't ever think... I guess it is my fault that I don't ever lump those in with the other Spider-Man movies, though.
Spider-Noir, and I'm trying to think who played his dad, because he was so good. So first off, Mahershala Ali as Prowler was great, right? That speech to Miles right as he died. And I'm trying to find... Brian Tyree Henry played Miles' dad. And that scene where Miles' dad knocks on the dorm room door and is like... I don't know what's going on, Miles. I don't know what's up, but and he gives him the, I don't even know if you're in the room, but I'm gonna give you the inspirational speech thingy. I love Brian Tyree Henry as Jefferson Davis. He was so good.
Yeah.
Everybody in that movie was really, really, really solid. And I'm super looking forward to the next Into the Spider-Verse
Yeah,
movie.
absolutely.
I'm dying for that one.
Especially if they keep the original cast and just
It's
continue to
all
add.
there.
Especially
Haley Steinfeld, the greatest Spider-Gwen.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, so I was just thinking about how the voice actors in Into the Spider-Verse are very good at inserting their emotions in their voices, which just completely ties it together and makes it more concrete, and it's pretty fantastic.
There was literally nobody in that movie that I was like, I could have lived without that.
Right.
Like, even Nick Cage as Spider Noir, like, you know, I drink egg creams and punch Nazis. Like, I mean, come on. Like, it's amazing. Okay, it was perfect. John Mulaney was a great Spider-Man. His voice has got that, like, cartoony, like, tone to it. So, if you want to talk about that, that's probably my favorite Spider-Man in any film that's ever been made. Right? Tom Holland was great. I like Tom Holland's Spider-Man. And Andrew Garfield's was okay. I wasn't the biggest fan of Andrew Garfield. But I see why people liked him.
He was adorable, but, like, I just felt like I was watching the same Spider-Man movie again.
Yes.
in some respects, which is not a knock on it at all. It's just, I came into the Spider-Man universe pretty early, and I know that his uncle dies, and I know what leads up to him becoming Spider-Man.
That was the nice thing with the Holland one, was we didn't have to watch Uncle Ben die again. Answer a question in the chat. Wasn't Taika Waititi supposed to direct a Star Wars movie? He was, and I don't know. So so they had Dan and Dave from Game of Thrones.
Right.
That was one of the reasons they left Game of Thrones. Why they were wanting to get out of it so bad was that Lucasfilm had said, come direct a Star Wars movie.
Right.
Or possibly a trilogy. So that was one. Rian Johnson, who made The Last Jedi, was supposed to get a trilogy. That, I think, is on permanent hiatus. I don't think they've officially canceled it.
Didn't his directing style not fit in with the other directors, and it lost inertia?
So I don't think that was his fault. And Mallo and I have talked about that on a bunch. Me and Grandpa Joe argued about it a lot.
You and Grandpa Joe argue about Star Wars?
Yeah, well, we always have Grandpa Joe on for Star Wars cats because of that. I think that he wanted to go a very different direction with Star Wars, and I think he was set up for failure. J.J. Abrams, who directed Force Awakens, is a mystery box director. It's what he does.
Right.
This guy made Lost.
Right.
Okay?
Freaking polar bear in the jungle.
Okay. J.J. Abrams likes setting up mystery boxes. Look, a mystery box. See, look, it's a thing. There's something inside, but we don't know what it is. That's what J.J. do, right? He did an entire book that was like a giant mystery box. I actually bought it. It was really fascinating because it came with fucking props. It's the only book I've ever bought with props.
What? What book is this?
It's the book he wrote with another guy. Like, it comes with props. There's a whole mystery. like anybody who's like, JJ sets up, like, yes, JJ sets up mystery boxes. This is what JJ do. Okay, there's nothing surprising. Yes, he wrote a book, kept a little box. It's very pretty, leather bound, and it has fucking props. It's got restaurant napkins with diagrams drawn on them and postcards with weird codes and like literally like a stack of props for you to try and decode what the hell is going on.
That's very akin to something. It really reminds me of Lemony Snicket, actually, in the way that is all set up and presented to you.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
So JJ sets up mystery boxes, and then Rian Johnson came in, because this is who Rian Johnson, and Rian Johnson's a great director. He did Knives Out. He's done a lot of really good films. And he went, no. And
no mystery box.
And he knocked over the mystery boxes. He was like, no, I'm not playing. And then they were like, all right, well, we're going to go back to JJ.
I do feel like they kind of did him a disservice by having him follow JJ, just because JJ does set up those mystery boxes.
Yes, and so I don't know what they were thinking about. Hey, Grandpa Joe, we were just talking about you.
Nerd.
And our Star Wars conversations.
Taika Waititi directing a Star Wars movie?
Yes, he was supposed to. So that was another one that Taika was announced as the director of a Star Wars movie along with Dan and Dave, Rian Johnson, Patty Jenkins. This is the other thing, and this is why I'm kind of like wonky, because they were on a yearly release schedule and everything fell apart. Oh, Mallo's in here now too. Yeah, nerds. Whatever.
Hi, nerds.
Yeah, I don't. So this was the other thing I was kind of expecting out of D23 this year. I wanted something. Give me a
More
cast.
Star Wars.
Give me a Star Wars movie. Don't get me wrong. I love the stuff they're doing on TV. It's fucking great. Where's my movie? Right? Here's the thing. There is certain experiences, like when you saw Rogue One.
Yep.
Did you see Rogue One in the theater?
Oh, yeah. I fell asleep through it the first time, so I went back and rewatched it in theaters again.
The Darth Vader hallway scene
Yes.
at the end of Rogue One.
It was fantastic.
That needs to be experienced on the big screen.
Yes.
Right? Where he's huge, large, and his saber is just cutting through fools, right?
Absolutely.
Those are the kind of moments that you can only really do in a film.
theaters.
Mandalorian is great, but Star Battles have not been its high point, right? You need to do film budget. You need to do it as a movie. This is what I've been kind of waiting for, is this.
More space
All right,
battles.
here we go. Mallo,
Oh my
thank you for
goodness.
5 Tier 1 subs.
Thanks, Mallo.
There we go. All right, let's get this chat going. Come on, folks. Oh, there's a Muffins reward. You know, we're going to bring back Muffins is going to guest on one of these things. Just wait, Grandpa Joe.
Just so I can kick Muffins in the shin.
Applesauce says that's their favorite scene of all Star Wars. I mean, Rogue One, told you, like, Force Awakens was fine. But when they released Rogue One, I was excited for the future of Star Wars movies.
Well, yeah, because it reminds you that this is a rebellion. It reminds you that there are people who are laying down their lives to go against this giant empire that has taken control. It is very much so far removed from the Skywalker legacy that, like, it is its own lore almost, just because of how much is inside of it. And I do think that Rogue One especially did really well at showing the struggle and the passion for trying to bring down that system. And they also had
The sacrifice.
Yes, it was the sacrifice, and it was the sacrifice of how cohesive that team was. It was the sacrifice of, like, the beliefs, that movie gave me goosebumps. It gives me goosebumps even talking about it.
And it was gutsy. I mean, Disney
Yes.
killed everyone. They were like, kill the entire principal cast.
Yeah.
That's fine. No more action figures for us.
Yeah, it was legitimately a very strong choice, but in the end, it actually made the sacrifices made in that movie even more concrete. Because you look at those plans, at the Death Star plans, and you go, oh, X person and X person, they died for these.
And the best part about Rogue One, no Ahsoka. You know what, Grandpa Joe? Our Ahsoka show is coming. That's coming.
Grandpa Joe, I'm going to put that Ahsoka standout in your bed.
Yep. We're going to bring it to your apartment. Okay? You want ash figures, check the ashtray. Ahsoka. We're gonna have the Ahsoka fight inside the chat tonight.
Oh,
This is
my
going to be
Lord.
great. Ezra Miller confirmed. There is no.
No.
Sorry, Ezra Miller. Oh boy.
I'm surprised Ezra Miller is still working with Warner Brothers right now.
I think
on
Warner
The
Brothers
Flash.
is still trying to figure out
What the hell is real
what's
and what
going
isn't?
on. And apparently something else. I haven't had time to dig into it, which is why it's not on my show rundown. Apparently there's some more that came out about Ezra Miller today. Again, I haven't had time to run it down and verify kind of the sourcing on it, so it's why I'm not bringing it up.
They
Because
have definitely been very busy in the headlines. We can leave it at that for now, but
yeah,
I definitely do think that addressing Ezra Miller and everything might be good for Identico After Dark.
well, we've talked about Ezra on the show before. Again, more came out today.
Sorry, I'm laughing at Grandpa Joe.
Idris Elba as Ahsoka or GTFO. Ezra Bridgers, though. They did actually confirm the casting on Ezra. Hang on. I've actually got that. That was one of the things they confirmed. So, again, going back to kind of D23, they didn't announce anything new. There was basically nothing new, really, that we didn't know was coming.
Right.
And I'm going to come back to you, chat. Lemur, I heard you before with the Thunderbolts roster. And I do have thoughts on that. And his name is Mena Massoud, and yes, he was in the Aladdin remake. But I think he to me looks like what I think Ezra would look like as an adult, right? Like it fits. It really does. Terrible remake on the Aladdin. So actually, we're going to jump topics here, and I promise we're going to come back to Thunderbolts. Disney's on this run of remaking their classic, because The 80s were a bad time for Disney. They were a really bad time for Disney. When they got into the 90s, they suddenly had this run of animated feature films that were just, they crushed it. Lion King, Beauty and the Beast,
Pocahontas.
Aladdin. They were killing it. Mulan.
Yes.
And now they're in this run of, let's remake them.
It's a nostalgia grab. That's all it is.
It was.
We're all adults now.
Yeah,
we all grew up with those movies, and now they just want our money.
And it hasn't worked so far.
It makes me bitter.
And now our next one. So Pinocchio came out on Disney Plus last week.
Oh.
And the critics are very unhappy.
Well, I mean...
Apparently it's bad.
Yeah. I'm sure that trying to remake scenes inside of the belly of a whale was really hard in live action.
It's all CGI, but apparently Tom Hanks phoned it in.
Oh.
And chat's bringing up where we're going. So Little Mermaid is next, and this was actually on our rundown tonight. So yes, there are a lot of people who are very angry that they have redone Ariel, and Ariel is black now.
She's beautiful.
Thoughts?
I mean, it is a good way to let the trash take itself out if somebody wants to be upset about the skin color of a freaking mermaid that is a fantastical creature anyways. I definitely, on my Twitter feed this morning, ended up seeing some dude just trying to talk about how mermaids are not able to be black because they're at the bottom of the ocean. And I actually got to see somebody who has a marine biology degree go through and list out all of the deep sea creatures that have black pigmentation in their skins and use it for, like, survival down at the bottom of the ocean. And so it just feels like it's thinly veiled racism at this point. It's stupid. Why are we doing this with that and the Lord of the Rings elves? Like, who cares?
Well, it's more than a who cares. What frustrates me most about this is this. We went 70 years.
It's not even thinly veiled, really, Mallo.
From Mickey Rooney in Breakfast at Tiffany's all the way through that movie with the blackjack where they were, the math students, where we have white actors playing various races, right? Through history. Like, this has happened for a long time, right? Mm-hmm. Where they recast, The King and I, okay?
Oh,
Yul Brynner was definitely not Thai. I can make you a fucking list if you'd want it, right? I can make you a list. The fact of the matter is the people who are getting frustrated, like, even put everything else out there. Yeah, Disney used to be racist as fuck. Go back and watch Peter Pan.
Yeah, Disney was into, like, some really shitty Nazi things.
Yeah, and the whole company had issues with this. From the Aristocats to Peter Pan to, this is why Splash Mountain's being redone. Because the movie that it was based on, that Splash Mountain was all done about...
Dumbo.
I have to go in. Yeah, there we go. Dumbo.
Yes, Dumbo.
Thank you, Art by Snail.
Yes.
All of it. Oh, yeah. Why did Dumbo get flagged?
Because it has dumb in there.
So, yes, Twitch auto-flagged Dumbo because reasons.
He was calling us names.
As it was flagged as bullying. Don't know. So there you go. Autobot is a 1920s Disney fan. Yes, I think Autobot was a 1920s Disney fan. The Crows and Dumbo, which was very, what's it called? The minstrel shows.
Yes.
Song of the South, which Disney barely acknowledges anymore.
They don't. Fun and Fancy Free was also another one.
Yep. Brer Rabbit, Inside Song of the South, which is what Splash Mountain. Now Splash Mountain's being redone as, what's the one with Tiana?
Princess and the Frogs.
There you go.
Princess and the Frog, not frogs. There's not multiple.
There's just one frog.
Well, there are multiple frogs,
in
but
the
it's
world
only one.
That we're concerned with. Anyway.
Prince Naveen.
So here's the thing. Anybody who's upset about Ariel, it's sour fucking grapes.
It just...
Like, even without the whole thing, like, well, it's not... Who cares? They cast white people as other races for decades.
Yeah. And honestly, it was absolutely shameful. The fact that we're getting actual representation in key points and as main characters. This is how we raise happy, strong, and well provided for individuals. We
Yeah.
make sure that they have representation.
And you better believe I'm going to take my kid to see Little Mermaid on opening weekend
Yes.
because I'm going to support what Disney's trying to do there.
Yes.
Let's see here. Okay, Joe's got a long one. Whole long-ass rant on Bookface about I'm tired of nerds being racist about fantasy people. Like a group
Yes.
of people historically teasing shit on you think nerds would be more accepting. No, nerds are some of the most gatekeeping motherfuckers around, and it frustrates the Christ out of me.
I mean, that definitely is something that we fight here every day as well. Like, just in the gaming industry alone, I can't even imagine trying to lump in, fandoms, including Disney. It's a struggle. And I understand where some of the gatekeeping comes from because they find a place where they belong and they don't want other mean people to be there. However, it also means that it comes across as gatekeeping because that's what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it is. That's it.
That's all it is.
You're being dumb. Stop gatekeeping.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I haven't sat down. Have you watched the Lord of the Rings show yet?
No, I kind of refuse to. I did get the cliff notes from Phil's wife, Amber. I heard that it felt like it was kind of sterile. I heard that
That's how the set pictures look to me.
Yeah, I mean, so take this with a grain of salt because I am a person who used to watch Lord of the Rings movies whenever I literally just needed to sit there and not think. So like I've seen those movies front to back a bazillion times. It's a comfort film. Yes,
Right.
absolutely. And the books, like I read those when I was in elementary, middle, and high school. Like those were my books. So to see a show made on such a lore-rich world and have people come to tell me that it feels sterile because they're not actually fleshing out anything and they're just basing this on a name. Like, they have so much material they could use. We could go into learning about the Númenóreans or, getting the backstory of the Maiar and Gandalf. Like, I don't understand why it's all about just Middle-earth politics from what I've heard. Again, I haven't watched it yet, and I will do that. However,
I've been meaning to look at the viewership numbers because I haven't actually seen. I don't know if Amazon's released the viewership numbers. I know just before the show released, one of the Amazon's VPs over in their production for Prime Video said, like, this is kind of a make or break for them. Like, they spent a lot of money on this.
it sounds like they're failing.
Yeah. I don't know what's going to happen here. I mean, Amazon's got money to burn,
That's true.
but I haven't seen the viewership numbers. I know HBO's crowing their viewership numbers for Hot D.
Right.
Like from the rooftops because Hot D is doing very, very well.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you also have Netflix with Sandman as well.
And that's doing okay, but that's okay. Netflix will cancel it after a season.
That's not what I heard.
That's what Netflix do.
That is what Netflix do.
That's what Netflix do.
I did hear that the Warg CGI was awful.
Yeah. So Legend, they're saying that it's not great. Okay, can we just say Hot D is the worst acronym? I didn't make up the acronym, okay? It's House of the Dragon. It's Hot D. It's not my fault. And it's Game of Thrones House of the Dragon, so it's got Hot D. Okay? Look, I didn't make this up, so it's not my shtick. Sorry. Tell them to fix their titles.
So that's interesting, Lemur King. You said that you're not watching it because it's not going to be faithful to the biblical origins of LOTR because of capitalism. Something that I remember reading about, and I know that Tolkien and C.S. Lewis were very close.
They were.
The inclusion of any biblical origins in the Tolkien world was mostly because it was something that Tolkien was familiar with and wanted to build off of. It wasn't purposely for, to make Lord of the Rings biblical. With that said, both Tolkien and C.S. Lewis did very well at doing allegorical fantasy. and they were extremely
C.S.
good.
Lewis was trying to make a point with
Yes.
Shocking.
As somebody who is deprogrammed and reformed from the religious world.
No,
it
I
is-
mean, those ones were given to me when I was a little kid. I read all the Chronicles of Narnia.
That was my first
Frodo's
Greenlaw
Middle
book.
Earth Jesus. He loves his ring finger for your sins. Jesus Christ.
Woof.
We're all salty in the chat tonight. Keep being salty, though, folks. We like it. We really like it. Yeah. I will probably sit down and watch.
I'll go, but I won't like it.
I'll probably sit down and watch Lord of the Rings at some point when I've got a little extra time. I'm sticking to the ones that I know right now. I mean, the Doctor. I'm presuming that you're referring to the fact that Matt Smith is in Hot D.
How does that...
Go ahead. Ask a question. You're good.
So I know how Doctor Who fans are, because I am one. So does that mean that the Doctor visited and was in the events of Hot D?
Yes, I'm going to go with that. You know, because he can travel universes. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. Yes, it does. Okay, chat's agreeing with you.
Bring on the fish fingers and custard.
Okay.
How we got the TARDIS.
This is how we got the TARDIS, was from dragons. Yep, that's it.
Yeah.
It's canon now.
Yeah. All right, that
Okay.
makes sense.
It all makes sense now.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
Yeah. Jeez. Anyway, moving along. Disney has Thunderbolts. Somebody earlier in the thing asked about the Thunderbolts lineup. That was one of the announcements they made this weekend. Was we do now have the full Thunderbolts lineup, and they announced the last two members of the team, which is going to be drumroll. It's Bucky, the Winter Soldier, and it is Red Guardian from Black
Interesting.
Widow. So David Harbour is returning as Red Guardian from Black Widow. I loved his character in Black Widow.
Yeah, absolutely. He brought brevity.
Joy.
Yes, he did.
Joy. Neither of those make any sense. The Thunderbolts roster has been really fluid over the years in the comic books. I know a lot of people have been part of the Thunderbolts once or twice. The one that I was surprised that I haven't seen is that I didn't see on that team that I expected to was Abomination.
Interesting.
Because you can go, okay, let's say we're going to make the Thunderbolts our, counter Avengers.
Right.
Right, so we got Bucky as our counter Captain America. We got Yelena, who I loved in the Hawkeye show. I thought she was great.
Right.
That's our Black Widow. Who else is on the dang? Hang on, let me pull up the thingy. Red Guardian, sure. Why
He's
not?
Googling things.
Zemo is not in the movie.
That's
Near as
pretty
we can
surprising.
tell. Cast. Hang on, I'm pulling it up. Okay. Well, Den of Geek says it makes complete sense for the MCU. Oh, Taskmaster. U.S. Agent, obviously, from Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And Ghost from Ant-Man and the Wasp. So, that's your team.
It feels more like they're trying to create a Marvel Suicide Squad.
That's kind of what everybody's thinking. Lemur King, I agree with you. Zemo and Abomination should have been in the movie.
Yeah.
Again, Abomination is your counter Hulk. Zemo's your leader. He's your Stark-esque kind of character.
Do you think there's time for them to eventually reveal? No.
They're
They're
done.
just nah, that's the roster.
That's
it's
it.
done.
That's it.
Bye.
Yeah.
I'm not. Okay. I'm not so inclined to watch Thunderbolts, but that's also because I was not aware of their existence. To be honest, I didn't read those comics.
I haven't read many of the Thunderbolts one. In the context of the MCU, with Thunderbolt Ross, with General Ross no longer being around because William Hurt died, which R.I.P. there, William Hurt, he was great. I don't know, I expected him to stick around because, Thunderbolts. And I don't think they were expecting William Hurt to die, and I think they're kind of stuck right now. And then you've got Madam Hydra basically running the show, near as I could tell. They're bringing back the guy from Incredible Hulk as the leader, who they're going to end up fighting. I'll watch it. I mean, I'm going to see the movie. I love Bucky.
Yeah,
I like
I
Elena.
really
I like Red Guardian. The cast looks like it's going to be fun, but it does. I think you're right. I think it's Marvel Suicide Squad.
I really hope that they don't end up falling into the same kind of traps that Suicide Squad ended up doing, especially with the first iteration.
Yeah, that wasn't good.
No.
It was not good.
Bucky with the good hair, yes!
Chat said finally
Swoon.
watched Thor Love and Thunder, hand down one of the most mediocre films so far. Wasn't enough to rank below
Interesting.
Thor 2, but nowhere to the top. The problem with Marvel movies now...
They have to beat everything that's come before them.
It's so hard to do, though. Did you see Thor Love and Thunder yet?
No, but I did read about it, and I do have a very special love for Taika Waititi anyways, so I fully expected this to be just a love letter to Thor, basically, from what Taika Waititi was saying.
Kinda?
Have you watched it?
Yeah.
And? That's never good when you start off your reviews that way.
It was fine. It was fine. There wasn't anything wrong with it.
So mediocrity it is.
Yeah, like where Ragnarok was like great, like it was a breath of fresh air after
Yes.
the dumpster fire that was Thor 2 and the
Yes.
over seriousness of what Thor 1 and Thor 2 were trying to be.
Yes.
I think not taking the character too seriously is a good idea.
Ragnarok was very much in line with Guardians of the Galaxy in my book, with the designs, the color, everything, like the cinematic setup. Like, it was beautiful. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that was probably really hard to follow up on as well.
And Chad's saying this one's a little too Taika Waititi, and that probably is the case. It's a little too much, right? It was like, we're doubling down on what worked in Ragnarok, and we're going to do it the whole way through. Natalie Portman was fun. There were some good moments with her as Jane Foster, like being Lady Thor. That was good. Christian Bale was fine as Gore the God Butcher. Russell Crowe with his run as Zeus was hilarious.
Oh my.
Yeah, like it was like, oh my God, is that Russell Crowe?
Okay.
Is that Russell Crowe? Tamagotchi Express, thank you for following. We appreciate it. I want Secret Wars to just, to Taylor Swift to use this terminology, do a Realm Reborn. There's a lot of the fandom that thinks that's what's going to happen. Secret Wars is going to be a reset.
Really?
For the MCU. Upkid IRL, thank you for following. I appreciate that.
Alex walks the dangerous line of reading out the usernames.
I try. I really do. Please do it. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. The one thing that and Malaman says Secret Wars to the Mutant Saga. I imagine that's what
Wouldn't be bad.
I think that's what Phase 7 is going to be. I think it's going to be the Mutant Saga.
Mighty
yes.
Thor was cool.
Mighty Thor was cool. I don't know. I imagine that's where they're going. Maybe. Who knows?
Jess says that you didn't believe them.
I didn't initially, and then I was like, is that really? It was during the post credits that I was like, oh well, it is. What do you know? I don't know if they need a reset. I don't know if they keep going. I don't.
Well, if they reset though, what are we gonna get? Just a bunch more nostalgia grabs and remakes of what they had already made?
I mean,
like,
maybe,
where are they gonna go with that?
Maybe. I mean, the problem that I think they have...
We get X-Men?
Probably.
Oh, you're funny.
This was the other one that I was waiting for at D23 because we know it's in development.
Right.
And this is the thing, and they could have knocked it out of the park. Bring out Ryan Reynolds. Bring out Ryan Reynolds.
For real.
Tell us we're making Deadpool 3. We know you're doing it.
Give.
Right? Just give us something. Anything. Deadpool 3. All they had to do was trot Ryan Reynolds out on stage and be like, look, we're making Deadpool 3.
And he would have hemmed it up, and everybody would have been excited.
And the whole crowd would have lost their stinking minds.
Absolutely.
They're making a new Crow. No, they don't need to make the Crow movie.
That movie is already cursed. Why are you doing it again?
Yep. Bill Skarsgård's new studio's doing it? That's weird. Okay, sure.
Still cursed.
Still cursed. Agreed. Like,
Somebody died in making that movie.
Bruce Lee's son, it was Jason, like,
Yeah.
he died. He got shot in the head. Whoops. Yeah, we don't need another one of those movies. I liked that movie when I was a kid. Yeah, I know they made like 4 more movies in the show, but I'm pretending it was it was the late 90s. Those things just were lost in a, haze of marijuana smoke. So we'll just leave that alone. What do you want them to do? Do they reset, or do they keep driving forward?
I think that they have a lot of possibility with the alternate dimensions and universes that they have opened up, especially with
But the storytelling gets really convoluted with the multiverse stuff.
It
gets
does. Hard. However, if they stopped jumping around to each to each superhero, right, for a saga, why not just do a full-on Black Widow arc and have it go through? Why not do a full-on Hulk arc going through, or She-Hulk arc, and pick up from that? Why not do a freaking Wanda arc? I know we had WandaVision, but as with the Scarlet Witch, why not have
Problem is,
more?
we don't know if Wanda's dead.
Okay, well then maybe they should have time to tell us, because guess what? That would make some good content.
Yeah. So, Grandma Joe in the chat, yes, they are doing a Highlander reboot. That is happening. I haven't seen much about it yet, but I do know that it is happening. So they are making a new Highlander. Go ahead.
Tomodachi Express says, I want Deadpool kills the Fox universe. And I was actually just talking about this with one of our employees earlier when we were setting up. And honestly, having Deadpool show up and just gank people, would be some seriously quality content.
Just merge the whole X-Mansion.
Yes, exactly.
There you go, gone.
It's just
and
done.
kills the old Fantastic Four. That was under Fox's range. He kills the Fan Four Stick.
Oh, Fan Four Stick. I remember watching those movies. I
want
was so young.
a Sean Connery Highlander cameo.
Yes.
I imagine they will do that, or at least they'll try.
He is a little up there in age. I'm not sure if he would be able to pull off the
He could do
only
it.
kilt.
he could do it. He could do it. He's Sean Connery. He's invincible.
That man has been wearing a rug on his chest since he was James Bond.
Yes, Merc's got a Merc. That's true. Mercs do got a Merc. I mean,
True. He's wearing his red pants.
give us something. And the other thing is I think everybody's still waiting for the X-Men announcement.
Well, yeah, because they've been teased so much. You can only tease people so much.
Hollywood and media is just a line of cameos nowadays. Actually, it was one of the things I liked about She-Hulk was she actually addresses it. She breaks the fourth wall and is like, don't think that this is going to be a cameo week show, except for Bruce and Wall. and it's like, and I think they also had a poke fun at the audience and everybody who's always theorizing that it's Mephisto behind everything. I think it finally was actually Mephisto.
What?
Didn't Sean Connery die? I'm not sure. Can we?
Oh, he did.
Oh, he died.
He died on Halloween of 2020. Truly the cursed year.
Seriously.
Why?
Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai is still doing really well. That's another. What could have been just a nostalgia grab has turned into a really solid show.
I'm sorry, I got broken for a second.
We all erased 2020 from our head. Now it's come back.
I didn't need that. Yeah. Woof.
Yeah.
Okay.
CGI.
I mean, they did have Carrie Fisher and also, so why not?
Yeah, we had young Luke again, so we're fine.
I mean, they're even. Sorry, this put me on a tangent in my brain because I just realized that they're also remaking Dirty Dancing.
Again?
Again.
This would be the second time that we made that movie.
Yep.
Okay.
And they're doing that to quite a few of the Patrick
Sure.
Swayze movies as well. You can't.
Whatever. She-Hulk is definitely meta. Can't wait for her to meet Deadpool. Yeah, I'm actually.
Oh my God.
Right, and Tatiana Maslany is killing it. And if we want to talk about stupid things that were controversial for reasons that boggle my mind,
right?
There was so there's the post-credit scene where Megan Thee Stallion's teaching her to twerk. Okay.
Yep.
And it's funny. It's just a funny moment. And first off, it's in the post-credit scene. It's not a big deal. Why are you people... No. Nobody has a problem with the dance-off at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy.
You know why they had a problem with it?
No, because it's twerking, and it's...
It's twerking, it's women on screen, and it is something that is, something to whine about.
Yeah. Art by Snail says, we'll never see Gwenpool. I'm not sure. With all the Spider-Verse, like that kind of stuff...
They have a lot of room.
You might see Gwenpool at some point, and I would love to see that. That would make my day.
Honestly, having Deadpool go through and visit, all of the different Spider-Man universes, because he can do that, would be very interesting.
Yeah.
It would be kind of like a safari with Deadpool.
I don't think Megan is crying over the haters while she cashes more checks.
Yeah,
I don't
also,
think so either.
If Megan Thee Stallion asks you to twerk with her, you fucking twerk with her. That's it.
That's fair.
Even if you don't have anything to throw back, you just do it.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay.
Silly.
It's just,
It's just people finding things to whine about because they want to whine. It's all it is.
I thought she was Gwen Stacy, but in Deadpool form. My mistake. If it was Deadpool twerking, no one would blink an eye. Also true. Or Captain America. And that's the other thing, too, is like we have a whole sequence in Avengers with it's America's ass, where Captain America is staring at his own butt. Okay?
Nice butt.
Okay? And we're getting worried about this.
It is the same double standard that is in almost every single entertainment scene out there.
Yep.
And it has got to stop.
Come on, people.
Has to stop.
Let's not do that anymore. Let's move on to something happy, though, because you have something that you've been playing lately. So, again, staying for whatever reason. Why we talk about Disney so much? Because it's all Disney just fucking owns everything now.
It's a monopoly.
It's like in Demolition Man when Taco Bell wins the franchise wars and every restaurant is Taco Bell. By the time we get to Demolition Man World, every company will be Disney. So that's why we talk about Disney so much. We don't have a choice.
McDonald's presented by Disney.
Exactly. But you've been playing the new Disney Dreamlight game.
Oh my god,
All right,
so good.
I haven't had a chance to play this yet, so you go.
Okay, first of all, I play it on Game Pass. I can play it for free. I don't have to worry about it, and it's cross-platform. It does cloud save, so I can go from my PC to my Xbox, which is already just freaking cool. Also, I can play it on my tablet. Really freaking cool.
Oh, I didn't know you could do tablet, too.
Yeah.
Do you have to
with
pay for it on
controller
tablet?
support. No, you can do it through Game Pass.
Nice.
Legit. This is why I sing Game Pass's praises. They're so good. So anyways, Disney Dreamlight. I love this game. I really love it. It has enough stuff in it to...
What's the premise? How do you roll into this game?
So basically, well, first it gives you this cheesy little video of you can do whatever you want. Go and save all the Disney characters. But basically what happens is you come in and you meet Merlin from Sword in the Stone, and he's like, hey, you should help me out. There's these thorns here. Help, you look like you're magic, kind of thing. So you go through, you fix the thorns, you clear up the spot. It's basically Animal Crossing with Disney. You're supposed to go and get the royal tools of the original ruler, basically,
Nice.
and it's the magical shovel and the magical the magical watering can shovel, pickaxe, and fishing pole. And that's one of your first quests. What is cool, though, is the fact that they start bringing in other mechanics. So clearly you have gardening, you have a fishing, fishing mini game, which is really fun, and you always catch something no matter what. You end up being able to grow your own ingredients and cook with Remy from Ratatouille. You get to go and pick flowers and feed animals with Wally, and then he grows you a garden that you can then just pick stuff from. You get to go and make Maui from Moana happy enough to move to your city.
Nice.
And then you just see them randomly dancing around the plaza as
Why
they're
not?
just running around trying to do the things. I even built Ursula a home over near Donald Duck's boat.
So you get to customize the little town?
Yeah. So they have you build their houses after they accept your invite to come and live in the city. And then they just establish themselves, and you'll get to see the characters. They'll go around and they interact with each other. And they'll have full conversations, and you don't even have to be a part of it. And something that I've noticed, which is kind of, I think it's adorable, if there's a character around you while you're doing something, they will come over and watch you and cheer you on. And it's kind of adorable, to be honest, just because it's very much like, okay, you're getting rid of the forgetting, we're establishing a community and making friends and bringing back all of these people who used to be here, you know, and you're like opening up new parts of the map, and that means that you get extra characters from a different Disney franchise. So like Christopher from Frozen, and there's the house from that Elsa and Anna grew up in.
Okay.
You know, and there's also an Arctic North that I have yet to visit, you know, and that's going to have clearly Elsa.
This is in early access still, is my understanding. This is not even done.
Yeah. The only complaint I have from it being in early access is the fact that there are some menus that don't fucking work. You have to back out and go back into it. And there's also, like, there's a certain door. Oh, it's in Scrooge's bank. Scrooge is the banker instead of, you know, our favorite Tanuki. And I fight with the door the most because of where they put the prompt. It is on PC Game Pass as well. And it's really cute. I really do think that if you need something to play, especially to unwind, it is not an overwhelming game, and you still get tangial progress.
You very much like can zone out and just fuck
and just
shit.
do. And
nice.
it has like
no fighting.
Not that I have seen. No.
Okay.
There is a big bad that is teased, but it even has you working with villains from the Disney universe as well, which I find very interesting because that's not usually how they do that. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if anybody else has played it. I heard Jess has been playing it a little bit. It definitely starts picking up, especially after you start opening doors in the castle, because it takes you to different worlds, which are basically like Animal Crossing islands, but like you get to do quests on those islands, and there's an entire storyline for each character, from what I can tell. It's really cool, and anything you do in that game, you get rewards for that help propel the game forward.
See, this sounds like incredible, because I've been looking for something lately. Where, like, I always try and have a couple of different games. One that I'm, like, heavy dive into, but you need to put some time into it.
Right.
But I always like having one that I can sit down and play for, like, 30 minutes.
Yeah. That
right?
is what
Because
it does.
that's all the time that I have. And then I can turn it off.
It doesn't suck you in like New World would, but you can still go around and mine nodes for gems.
Right, but what I'm saying is, like, I'm not gonna feel frustrated if I'm like, oh, I only played for 25 minutes, but...
Right, no.
Because that's been a big one for me.
I actually tried to game last night, and I ended up putting in something that was a little bit more serious, and I went straight back to Disney Dreamlight because I was like, it's just relaxing. It has music from all of the movies.
It's very mellow.
It's mellow as hell.
Makes me wonder, is it on Steam?
The cloud save isn't Steam to Switch. Okay. So it is on Steam on the PC.
It isn't Steam to Switch, because can you buy it on Switch? Because this to me feels like
You
one
can buy it on the Switch.
that I would want handheld.
You can. We actually have a regular who came in with their Switch, and they were playing Disney Dreamlight. They also are very inclusive with their avatar creation stuff, which I do feel is very, it's a step in the right direction.
Nice.
It's a small thing in like the entire scope of it all, but it is definitely a step in the right direction. It's really neat.
Don't worry, somebody's going to yell at them for being woke about it, and then we'll like have to throw rocks at things.
People being upset about woke things are literally just the trash taking itself out.
Tamadachi wants to know if there's an interior design part of the game like Animal Crossing.
Yes, and you can also interior design outside in the entire like plaza, and also the other parts that you unlock along the way. And you get different themed things, and you can also add on rooms to your house, make it bigger, all of that stuff. Like I have an entire like I have a giant one-room house that has a little tiny bedroom off to the side right now, but they do give you like different furniture and wallpapers and flooring and stuff like that. And it's actually it's a pretty good furniture system, to be honest.
So this one, and
It's super cute.
we talked about this on the Gamers Heaven channel a couple weeks back, and I know I've talked about it on Identical. This one kind of came out of nowhere because like we were talking about this a few weeks ago. We were like,
What the hell
there's
is
nothing.
this?
There's nothing. There was nothing coming out this year. It was like everything's like not really a lot of games. Everything's been pushed
And
to
then they
2023.
slapped it down.
I'm like, okay,
Right.
this came out of nowhere. Like Disney was just like, here's a game.
It did. It flew
And it's not
under the
crap.
radar. It's not crap. It's the the only thing that I have an issue with is some of the controls. But like, that's it. It's so good.
All right, well I'm sold.
I'm blown away by how good it is. And I'm gonna go play it tonight after I get home. So
Yeah. So there you go. But yeah, so let's end on a positive note. Check out Disney Dreamlight and let's go.
What year is it?
Disney MCG, what year is it? It's the year where Disney owns everything. Okay, yes. Oh, Disney is coming out. We'll talk about this on another stream. Disney is coming out with their version of Magic. That's another stream for another day. Yeah. Get a suggestion. My wife wants to get to Taco Bell drive-through.
Yes,
Nice.
Taco Bell.
Not an ad, but just yes, Disney. If you'd like to sponsor us, Lord knows I've been called a Disney shill enough.
you totally are though.
Give me some money. Okay, come
One
on.
of the biggest Disney fans I know.
Seriously. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Taylor, thanks for guesting tonight.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, guys. And guess what? Eve Tamales may be coming back.
Eve Tamales is coming back. I'm very close.
All of the attitude and
Yes.
double the sass. Let's go.
We are very close to finishing the casting on this and getting everything rounded out.
Disney adult. Yes. Listen,
yes.
Kingdom Hearts is one of his favorite.
Kingdom
video
Hearts is
games.
one of my favorite video games. A Disney adult, but not in the. There's a weird series of a gradated line towards some of the crazy Disney adults. I don't own 15 pairs of Mickey ears. Okay, let's start with that.
Yes, but do you sing Disney songs in the shower?
No. Mostly because I listen to the news in the shower. That's my news time.
Oh.
Anyway, thank you all for joining us. Yes, now I need to binge Angel City Stories. Yes, go back and binge it. It's on YouTube, youtube.com/IDENTECO. You can find it all there. I don't know. I love Disney. There's a weird gradated Disney adult. I see them on TikTok all the time, and I don't reach that level, right? There's people. No, you don't even reach their level. There's some bonkers ones out there.
No, there are some.
Thank you all for joining us tonight. I really appreciate it. Alex should cosplay as Sora. If I could get the stuff, I would totally cosplay as Sora. I love
Let's
Sora.
do it.
So, anyway.
Never apologize, Mallo. We are out.
Yes. Bye, everybody.
Love you guys. Be kind to everybody and yourselves. Drink water and peace.